Imagine being 24 years old and entirely trapped inside your own head. Meet Marco. His mind is a relentless storm of racing thoughts. He spends his days mentally time traveling, regretting mistakes from his past and agonizing over everything that could go wrong in his future. This constant mental looping takes a massive amount of energy. Pushing your brain to continuously simulate past and future scenarios creates a state of cognitive fatigue, leaving Marco physically exhausted, unable to sleep, and emotionally numb. When we feel this overwhelming internal chaos, our human instinct is to look outward for a solution. We convince ourselves that our physical environment is the problem, that if we can just get away from the noise and the crowds, our minds will finally quiet down. But changing your location rarely solves the problem. The true source of the chaos isn't the world around you. It is generated entirely from within. Desperate for relief, Marco embarks on a grueling journey into the mountains. He is looking for a legendary former city psychologist who retired to a remote village to live in total silence. He leaves behind the concrete and the blaring sirens of his daily life, eventually finding the old man sitting on a porch enveloped by green, profound, natural serenity. Marco pleads for the secret to a quiet mind. You might expect the psychologist to sit Marco down on a cushion and teach him how to meditate in this peaceful forest. Instead, the old man does the exact opposite. Rather than letting Marco stay in this quiet sanctuary, he designs a challenge meant to thrust his new student directly back into chaos. The psychologist brings Marco to the yard and fills a small glass of water completely to the brim. It is so full that a single misstep or slight shake will break the surface tension and cause it to spill. The instructions are strict. Marco must carry this precarious glass from the quiet porch all the way to the edge of the busy village and back. He is not allowed to lose a single drop. The contrast is extreme. Marco must perform an incredibly delicate task while navigating a narrow road packed with running pedestrians and shouting shopkeepers and loud barking dogs. This physical demand is a mechanism designed to capture Marco's total attention, leaving no space for the usual mental noise to surface. Step by careful step, Marco slowly navigates the chaotic street. He eventually returns to the porch, completely successful. He kept his eyes locked firmly on the glass the entire time, without spilling a drop. The old man congratulates him, then asks a simple question. "Did you hear the dogs barking, or see the children playing by the road?" Marco realizes with genuine surprise that he saw and heard absolutely nothing except the water. This diagram illustrates human cognitive bandwidth, the mental pipeline we use to process our environment. This mechanism is known as the attention bottleneck. Our brains have a strictly limited capacity for processing information. When you hyperfocus on a large, immediate task, it consumes the entire diameter of that pipeline. Because Marco's bandwidth was entirely consumed by the water, the surrounding noise was physically blocked out. There was no room left for that data. Marco achieved silence while standing in the middle of a noisy street. The volume of his surroundings didn't matter. The peace he experienced was dictated entirely by where he anchored his attention. This chart maps where attention lives. Most cognitive bandwidth lingering in the past and future. Anxieties require vast empty space. Force your attention to fill the present, and those zones are pushed out. By locking his mind entirely in the now to keep the water from spilling, Marco eliminated the mental space required for fear to exist. You cannot panic about next year when all your processing power is dedicated to taking your very next step. Inner peace is a mechanical result. It happens naturally when you anchor your attention so deeply in the present moment that there is no bandwidth left for anxiety. Marco walks back down the mountain path toward the city at sunset. He is moving with a steady, deliberate pace, a stark contrast to the restless man who climbed this hill only hours ago. The loud, stressful world he is returning to hasn't changed at all. The sirens will still blare and the emails will still pile up. The only thing that changed is his method of existing within that world. We spend so much time planning vacations and building soundproof rooms, chasing the idea that peace of mind is a geographical location we can travel to. Peace is a state of absolute presence. It is a focus you generate from within, regardless of how chaotic your external environment becomes. To calm a stormy mind, you don't need to flee to a quiet mountain. You only need to find your own glass of water, a focal point that firmly anchors your attention in the absolute present moment.